The Dark Half was released in 1993 and is based off the Stephen King novel of the same name, but for some reason, filming finished in 1991. So, what happened? Well, apparently, Orion Pictures ran into some economical shit, causing it to become delayed. Now, how's the movie? How faithful of an adaptation is it? And more importantly, was it worth the wait? Well, let's find out. The plot of this film involves a famous novelist named Thad Beaumont who writes a series of novels that are a hit with critics, but not so much with the mainstream. So to fix this, he writes a series of dark and edgy novels under the pen name of George Stark, which gives him a boost in popularity. No one knows who George Stark really is until one day, one of Thad's students comes and asks him to sign a George Stark book for him. At first, Thad is confused, until the student says he knows who George Stark really is, and threatens to go to the press about it. So what does Thad do? Stage a mock burial of George Stark and goes on with writing under his own name. Trouble is, Stark doesn't like his idea. In fact, he wants revenge. So, he goes on a murderous rampage and kills anyone who is involved with his death. Since Stark looks just like Thad, Thad finds himself in a lot of trouble. This plot had a lot of potential of being a really decent split personality thriller, but instead it just came off as somewhat cheesy slasher film. It has a bunch of opportunities to let the audience wonder who the killer really is, and it kinda does, but it's blatantly obvious that George Stark is really a separate person because of the grave scene near the beginning of the film. And George A. Romero seems to have an idea of what themes King was tapping into in the book, but he kinda just breezes through them rather than go deeper. The plot is okay, but it could have been better. I give it a C+. Now the acting. The acting in this film was great. In fact, some of it was what made it scary. Take the scene where George Stark tortures that woman, for example. Her screams are just so realistic and so horrifying that it actually does seem like she is being tortured. However, Timothy Hutton plays both Thad Beaumont and George Stark. While he does a good job playing Thad, he does a fantastic job at portraying George Stark. He conjures up a performance that manages to make the character scary and badass at the same time. And you can tell he is having a lot of fun in the role. In fact, he seems to be having too much fun. Could he be George Stark? I don't know, but I give acting an A-. Finally, directing. George R. Romero may not have created a fully faithful adaptation, but The Dark Half is a good movie on its own. He creates amazing atmosphere, gruesome visuals, and a slight nod to his film debut. It's pretty much everything you would want out of a Romero film. It may not be up there with Night of the Living Dead or Creepshow, but it's still really good. I give directing an A+. Overall, if you are a fan of the novel, you might be disappointed. This is somewhat faithful, but it doesn't really go into more detail of what the novel's original themes are. In fact, there was a lot of themes in the original one. For example, in the book, King implied that George Stark was symbolized by how writers have two sides, a normal everyday side and a writer's side. He also seems to be implying that maybe there is a voice in your head that tells the story to you as you write it. All in all, The Dark Half is a decent film, but honestly, this might sound a little cliche, but the book was way better. An alright film though. I give this film a B. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.